The ghouls and goblins that the GOP is running now are unreal. Unreal. They're all over the country. Roy Moore was a child molester in Alabama. He lost, but the general election, but he won the Republican primary. If you thought Roy Moore was bad, buckle up. Here comes Don Blankenship and Patrick Little. Now, Don Blankenship is a total monster. I'm going to give you some sense of who he is and how he's doing in a second. But before I tell you that story, I want you to make sure that you stick around for the Patrick Little story, because he's worse than Blankenship. And right now, he's in second place in the California Senate race among all contenders. He's #1 among the Republicans. How could it be worse than Blankenship? Hold, we'll get to him, but let's talk about Blankenship. So he's a former coal baron. He was convicted because in one of his mines, there was a gigantic explosion. 29 people died. He had purposely not done mine safety, and that's why he was convicted. And why? Of course, for an extra buck. Now he's running for the Senate seat in West Virginia, and you know him by another name that he has. Let's put up this picture here. You know him as the pallbearer, obviously, from the WWE. But oh God, that matches him uncomfortably well on several different fronts. So yes, that's what he looks like, but he also sounds like that. And he also says insane things like China people. He keeps referring to China people and Mitch McConnell's China family. Why Mitch McConnell? Mitch McConnell's in Kentucky, he's running in West Virginia because he perceives Mitch McConnell to be the head of the Republican Party and the establishment. And yes, it is true that a PAC associated with Mitch McConnell has run ads against Blankenship in West Virginia because they want to win that seat. So that's why he keeps attacking Mitch McConnell. Now, we've run his ads in the past showing you what a lunatic Blankenship is, but he's not done yet. He's got a new radio ad, but that's not why I'm telling you this story. Wait till you see what position he's in. But first, yet another insane ad from Don Blankenship.
This is Don Blankenship, candidate for U.S. Senate. The establishment politicians are getting desperate and more hostile. They are calling me a bigot, a moron, a despicable character, and mentally ill. But even if all of this is true, I will do a better job than they have done. They have resorted to this childish name-calling because they don't want us to focus on the issues. The issues are that we need more West Virginia jobs, we need to end the drug crisis, and we need an honest government. We do not need more childish behavior like you may have witnessed at the Fox debate. The fake news is also pretending to be offended by my use of the words China people. They seem not to realize that China is a country, not a race. The establishment has given millions of our jobs to China people and left many West Virginia people to fend for themselves. Send me to the Senate and I will represent West Virginia people, not China people. I am an America person and I will put America first.
That is so amazing on several different fronts. First of all, there is no such thing as an America person. Not a thing, you made that up because you kept referring to China people as in Chinamen. It's an old school slur against Chinese people and against all Asians in this country. Since he used that slur, he's now saying everybody's a person. What do you mean? There's Korea people, there's West Virginia people. I'm an American person. No one has ever said, I'm a West Virginia person before. It's not a thing, it's not a thing, you made it up. But my favorite part of the ad was in the beginning. They're calling me a bigot, a moron, and a despicable character, and mentally ill. Why would you repeat those charges in your own ad? But it gets better. The next sentence was, but even if all of this is true, he grants that it is possible that he's a moron and mentally ill. It's unreal, unreal. So that leads me to the news of today. Political reporting, as the tight contest hurtles to a close, 4 Republicans say they'd reviewed polling conducted in recent days showing Blankenship, who spent a year in jail following a 2010 explosion at his Upper Big Branch mine that killed 29 workers, moving narrowly ahead of his more mainstream GOP rivals. He's leading, he's leading, he's #1 in the Republican primary. The primary is tomorrow. The primary is tomorrow. This goblin is likely to be the Republican nominee from West Virginia. You never know, I mean, he's getting so much media attention. It could change the dynamics of the race, and even Trump has gotten involved. So he tweeted out, to the great people of West Virginia, we have together a really great chance to keep making a big difference. Problem is Don Blankenship, currently running for Senate, can't win the general election in your state. No way, he says. Remember Alabama, vote Representative Jenkins or Attorney General Morrissey. So there's two other mainstream candidates, such as they are in the Republican Party. I mean, is there anyone that's sane left in the Republican Party? And by the way, those guys are running ads saying that Blankenship is too liberal. In case your mind wasn't blown enough yet. Okay, so how is Blankenship going to respond to the big dog, Donald Trump, throwing him under the bus? Well, he's got a great answer. Watch.
While West Virginia really loves Trump, it's his policies that they love. It's the fact that he has demonstrated that he'll support coal. He's demonstrated that he will, pass tariffs if necessary to support the steel industry. He's demonstrated that he is not a swamper. And so it's those policies that West Virginians love. And I'm basically Trumpier than Trump when it comes to those policies, but I'm a much more mild-mannered and much more in line in terms of the social issues in West Virginia than even President Trump.
Well, you got to give him this. He is mild-mannered. I mean, what he says is insane, but his delivery makes it appear that he has already died. That's the guy. You want to talk about low energy? I've never seen anyone with less energy in my life. Anyway, I was offended by the word West Virginians. What I understood was that they are West Virginia people. All right, but of course, the interesting thing that everybody noted from that response to Donald Trump is that he is Trumpier than Trump. That's got to go on a shirt somewhere. So, oh boy, when we've got a new standard in the Republican Party in the country, which is Trumpier than Trump, God help us all. So you might be wondering, why is he winning? Well, for two reasons. And again, winning just in the Republican primary. Two reasons. One, the Republican electorate has lost its mind. They got egged on by fear and hatred for year after year after year. And so they're like, yeah, fear and hatred, that's what we're for. So this guy hates the China people. That sounds great to me, because I'm a West Virginia Republican person. So I'm voting for Blankenship. He didn't get famous for doing anything positive. The only two things Blankenship are known for is blowing up a mine where 29 workers died and going to jail for it, and for being deeply racist in this particular campaign. It's not like people are like, yeah, but on the other hand, right? Well, he does a lot of charity. No, there's no such thing. Okay, I don't know how much charity he does, but he's certainly not known for that. So the other reason why Blankenship is doing well, over the final 6 days of the race, as Politico reports, the self-funding coal baron is set to spend over $640,000 on commercials. According to the media buying totals, more than Jenkins and Morrissey combined, Blankenship has spent over $2.5 million on TV ads in total, far more than his rivals. In other words, money in politics. This guy made a ton of money running unsafe mines. He's now using that money to try to become the senator from West Virginia. He's even overpowering his Republican opponents by spending millions of dollars on a West Virginia race. Man, the corruption runs so deep in this system. Meanwhile, the person not getting anywhere near enough attention in the race is actually a wonderful candidate, of course not on the Republican side, on the Democratic side, Paula Swearengin. She's running as Joe Manchin. They also have a primary, and it's also tomorrow. So whatever you do in West Virginia, get out there and vote if you're a Republican. Hey, look, man, I can't. You like the corruption, you like somebody calling people China people and being Trumpier, that's your business, okay? I would say vote against Blankenship, but that's your primary. Democrats, what are you doing? Joe Manchin represents the coal companies, everyone else. Paula Swearengin is running against them. Could you imagine if we had an honest, uncorrupted Bernie Sanders style candidate against the monster that is Blankenship? She would crush him. She would crush him. Instead, Blankenship might get to say, well, Joe Manchin takes money from coal companies. I ran a coal company. Cut out the middleman. That's literally what Trump did. You think it can't work? Trump said, hey, all these people take money from politicians. I'm the guy they took money from. Cut out the middleman, go straight to the heart of the corruption. And it worked, and it worked. So it might be able to work against Manchin. It won't work against Paula Jean. Here's her links, and they're all down below in the description box if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. Make sure it's so easy to click. Just go down there and click on them when you get a chance. Again, the primary is tomorrow, so whatever you do, just get out and vote. Go, 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 go. Okay, so how could the California Republican candidate, Patrick Little, be worse than Blankenship? Okay, he rises to the challenge. And I'm going to tell you about his poll numbers in a second. Little called Adolf Hitler one of the greatest leaders in history. And then he says he's running to liberate the US from the Jewish oligarchy. And he describes himself as a white advocate who aims to crush anti-white racism in US institutions. Well, that last one sounds like a right-wing troll on one of our videos. So, oh, China people, you say, hold my beer. Okay, going straight for the Nazi vote. And get a load of this. He's winning among Republicans. In fact, this is a race that Dianne Feinstein and Alison Hartson are in, okay? Feinstein's at 39% according to a Survey USA poll. Patrick Little is at 18%. He would go to the runoff. He would beat all of the other Republicans and the rest of the Democrats, keeping it real, and he would go to the runoff. In California, just the top two advance, it doesn't matter what their party is. Holy cow, how the hell is he at 18%? That's insanity. So we're not done yet. So the GOP kicks him out of his convention, out of their convention this weekend, and he's super mad about it. And so how is he going to show how mad he is? By standing on the Israeli flag. Watch.
They just had me expelled from the building because I won't serve Israel. I want to serve my country. I want to serve the United States. I want to serve Californians. I will not bow to a foreign flag. I will not serve a foreign government. The Republican Party, the GOP of California, is nothing but Zionist stooges. They do the bidding of a foreign power that has committed terrorist attacks against this country.
This is what the Republican Party's turned into. Look, I'm not the one that's saying they turned into this. The Republican voters are. Look at the polling. He's crushing the rest of the Republican field in California. Crushing them. I don't even know how they know about him, let alone the fact that they're like, oh, a neo-Nazi who loves Adolf Hitler. Yay, in California. So in California, the race, if it were to go off, if that poll is accurate and it goes off today, you would have Feinstein who would be Hillarier than Hillary. I just made that up, okay? But it's true on the context. Dianne Feinstein, way more conservative than Hillary Clinton. For the death penalty, voted for Bush's taxes, voted for Bush's Iraq war, voted to repeal the estate tax, just changed her mind after an Alison Hartson ad last week. Oh yeah, marijuana, maybe it should be illegal. She'd been fighting against that, fighting against criminal justice reform. She's so deeply conservative, funneled money to her husband, who was a defense contractor in the middle of the Iraq war after she voted for the war. That's how corrupt Feinstein is. So she's worse than Hillary Clinton versus Patrick Little, who's worse than Trump, who's Trumpier than Trump and Trumpier than Blankenship. But luckily, you have a chance to make a difference. The top two advance. For God's sake, vote for the alternative, Alison Hartson. She ran a nonprofit for 5 years, and the nonprofit's goal was to get money out of politics. She takes no PAC money, totally uncorrupted. She's crushing the rest of them on social media. She beats everyone else combined. I can go on and on. She beats everyone else in small donors. This is time for progressives to get redemption. It's 2016 on steroids, but we get a redo. This time, make the right choice. Vote for a Bernie Sanders-style progressive, deeply progressive. Here are the links for Alison Hartson. Again, they'll be in the description box below. This one is primaries June 5th. So beat the neo-Nazi, beat the corporatist. Why can't we have reasonable candidates that succeed? Why do we have to have monsters or total corporate hacks? Why can't we have someone actually fighting for the people? But if you live in California, you can make that happen, but you've got to go vote. You've got to go vote. So this is the Republican Party, Patrick Little, Don Blankenship, Roy Moore, Donald Trump. We didn't pick those people, the Republicans did. So tomorrow we get to find out if Blankenship is their official candidate in West Virginia. And and then we'll see who finishes first among the Republicans in California, whether they make the runoff or not. But for God's sake, vote for real progressives who are not going to represent corporations or their donors, and who are not going to represent monsters. They got a crazy new idea. They're going to represent you, the voters, instead of the donors or instead of the ghouls and goblins. But you got to go make that happen. Help them in every way you can. Get into the fight, and whatever you do, make sure you go vote. Go to the links down below and get in the fight. If you can't get in the fight to fight against a neo-Nazi, when do you get in the fight? This is the time. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.